So I just saw Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and wow, what a surprise. It was really good. It was a good, fun, enjoyable movie. The music was great just like every other movie in the series. The acting was great despite almost every other movie in the series. Quite honestly, the most noticeably weak actors in the entire film were the ones from the original trilogy. The dialogue scenes between Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher were a little difficult to take seriously. Fortunately, however, the majority of performances in this movie were actually pretty great. The majority of the characters were actually pretty well developed too. They were interesting, fun to watch, and easy to care about. Although it was a little weird that most of the time the new droid character just felt as though it was a spherical version of Wall-E. I literally stopped caring about whatever its name actually was and only started referring to it as Ball-E. The film's pacing was also pretty well done. Although I kept expecting the movie to end several times, I think that was mostly my fault. Like with this movie being the first in a new trilogy, I wasn't really sure exactly how wrapped up this movie was planning on being by the time it ended, and I think that's what made me feel as though it were a lot longer than it was, because despite that, I was never really bored, but I found myself unintentionally anticipating the ending a lot more than I probably would be if this were just a standalone film. Now, before I watched The Force Awakens, I went back and watched the original trilogy, so the similarities between this film and A New Hope were pretty fucking apparent. Without getting too specific, some of the similarities were a little fucking ridiculous. There were a few moments where I found myself thinking, really? This? Again? Like, it wasn't just hitting a lot of the same beats, there were quite literally identical problems and solutions. There were a few points where I found myself questioning the logic of the film. Like, apparently none of these ships need keys. You can quite literally just steal one without hot wiring it or anything. Now, if there's one thing that really did take me out of the movie, it was the fans. Everybody needs to calm the fuck down. During the points where nostalgic characters were introduced to the film, I felt like I was watching a shitty sitcom. Yeah, we get it, they're in the movie. Can you please let me watch it? Did you not see this same character appear in the trailer? We get it. You really, really, really love Star Wars more than anybody loves any other movie ever. We are all very happy for you, but we also hope that you one day calm the fuck down. There is no movie franchise in existence that deserves this much hype. It's this very same fan-driven obsession that makes it difficult to watch the originals in the way that they were originally intended. Like, at this point, every single line of dialogue is a fucking meme.
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Sorry I wasn't born fast enough. One of the things I enjoyed most about The Force Awakens is that this is the most realistic a Star Wars movie has ever felt. I will never know what it's like to experience the original trilogy in the 1980s, so I can't really comment on that, but watching them today, I can't really believe a lot of what I'm seeing no matter how hard I try. And trust me when I say I've tried very, very hard. I can see why people love them, I can appreciate its cultural impact as well as the universe it's created, but it's also incredibly fucking cheesy. This new film definitely is not as much of a cultural impact, it's not a historic piece of filmmaking to inspire an entire generation, but it is a good film that put a lot of thought into its presentation. With not all that much preventing me from believing what I'm seeing, I'm able to just sit back and watch the characters deal with their conflicts. And boy, is that ever personally refreshing for a Star Wars movie. Hopefully in 30 years from now, a younger generation will be able to enjoy this film without the fans devolving it into one big pop culture reference. Do you think that maybe if people just calm down a little about Star Wars, there wouldn't be a shit ton of trolls posting massive spoilers on the internet? Like if people brought it down maybe just a little bit closer back to planet Earth? That shit's stressful, man, and I wanted to go into this bringing as honest of a review as I possibly could, so I didn't check my messages for like 3 fucking days. And no, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil the movie for you, but let me just say that as someone who didn't have the movie spoiled for them, it was one of the most predictable things in the world. If you've seen a movie ever, you can see it coming from a mile away, so don't stress yourself out about it. Anyway, I thought this movie was an enjoyable and refreshing addition to the franchise, and I'm excited to see episodes 8 and 9, although I sincerely hope that they don't pull that bullshit where the third movie in the trilogy is split into 2 parts. Whatever, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And I'm giving this one an episode 7 out of 10. Oh, you're so funny, man!
Dude, I'm in the red!
Funny meter!
Fucking red!
At the expense of just...
You're looking at the
Yeah,
master
boy.
prank.
Oh.
My personal demons are coming back to haunt me.
Oh, the funniness is just a way to cope with all the things I've repressed. Oh. Secretly, I'm depressed.